First contact fallout. The flashing yellow alert on Captain Maya Shen's command console was the first indication that something had gone terribly wrong. The U.S. Pathfinder, Earth's most advanced deep space vessel, had been dispatched to investigate an anomalous signal at the edge of the solar system. What they found instead was a massive interstellar ship of clearly non-human design. Status report, Maya ordered, keeping her voice steady despite the surge of adrenaline. Lieutenant Kemmel's fingers flew across his sensor panel. Unknown vessel, approximately 3 kilometers in length. No match to any theoretical designs in our database. It's just sitting there, Captain. Maya nodded, her mind racing through first contact protocols that suddenly seemed woefully inadequate. Humanity had prepared for this moment for centuries, but had never truly believed it would happen in their lifetime. Open all communication channels. Standard greeting package. The bridge fell silent as Earth's carefully crafted message, containing basic mathematical principles, atomic structures, and simple linguistic patterns, was transmitted toward the alien vessel. For 10 long minutes, nothing happened. Then everything happened at once. The alien ship suddenly emitted a pulse of blue light that washed over the Pathfinder. Ship systems flickered, and a holographic projection materialized on the bridge. A tall, slender being with iridescent skin and 4 arms. It spoke, and impossibly, they understood. Greetings, exploratory vessel. I am Ambassador Xilai of the Galactic Confederation. We have been monitoring your system for some time, and deemed you ready for initial contact. Maya stepped forward. Captain Maya Chen of Earth's United Space Command. We welcome peaceful contact with your civilization. The alien's expression shifted subtly. United Space Command. Your vessel bears weapon systems. Standard defensive measures, Maya replied. Space exploration carries inherent risks. Against what enemies? Xilai asked, the translator conveying a note of confusion. Before Maya could formulate a diplomatic response, Lieutenant Kamal interrupted. Captain, we're detecting multiple smaller craft deploying from the alien vessel. They're taking up tactical positions around us. Maya's training kicked in. Raise shields. Power to defensive systems only. Ambassador Xilai's hologram flickered, its posture suddenly rigid. You possess military shielding technology. Your response to our standard approach is defensive positioning. A series of rapid clicks emanated from the being. Troubling. Extremely troubling. We mean no offense, Maya said quickly. This is simply standard procedure when. You have military procedures, Xilai interrupted. The Confederation must be informed immediately. And with that, the hologram vanished. The smaller craft that had deployed around the Pathfinder retreated to the mothership, which began to emit strange energy signatures. They're preparing to leave, Kamal reported. Some kind of faster-than-light technology activating. Maya watched in frustration as humanity's first contact ended almost as quickly as it had begun. The massive ship disappeared in a flash of blue-white light, leaving behind only questions and a sinking feeling that something had gone very wrong. Send a complete report to Earth Command, Maya ordered, and tell them we might have a problem. 4 months later, Maya found herself standing in a vast chamber unlike anything humans had ever constructed. The Galactic Confederation's Central Council Hall curved impossibly above her, its transparent ceiling revealing a star field entirely unfamiliar to human eyes. Representatives of over 200 species filled tiered seating around the central speaking platform, where Maya now stood, feeling very small and very alone. After the abrupt departure of Ambassador Xilai, the Confederation had gone silent for weeks before suddenly extending an invitation for Earth to send a representative to address concerning observations. As the captain who made first contact, Maya had been the logical choice. Now, facing the assembled representatives of civilizations thousands of years more advanced than humanity, she fought to maintain her composure. The evidence is troubling, announced the council speaker, a being composed of what appeared to be shimmering light contained within a crystalline structure. The human civilization continues to maintain military organizations, weapons development programs, and tactical doctrine. This violates one of our most fundamental principles. Maya stepped forward. With respect, Council Speaker, humanity has no knowledge of your principles. We were not given any information about the Confederation's expectations. The ban on organized warfare, the Speaker continued as if Maya hadn't spoken, has been a cornerstone of galactic peace for over 6,000 years. All spacefaring civilizations naturally abandon such primitive behaviors before achieving interstellar travel. All except, apparently, humans. Murmurs spread through the assembled representatives, sounds ranging from melodic chimes to deep rumbles. A display activated above the central platform, showing images that Maya recognized with growing horror. Earth's military history, world wars, regional conflicts, military exercises, weapons tests. The images flashed by quickly, a damning catalog of humanity's violent past and present. Humanity has not known galactic war, Maya stated firmly, but our history has been shaped by conflict. We've learned from it, grown beyond our worst instincts. Our military organizations now primarily focus on defense, peacekeeping, disaster response. You maintain organized killing capacity, interrupted a new voice. A bulbous creature with multiple eye stalks floated forward on what appeared to be an anti-gravity platform. You design weapons specifically to harm other sentient beings. You train your young in the art of tactical thinking. Maya took a deep breath. We also create art, music, literature. We explore, we build, we heal. Warfare is part of our history, but it isn't what defines us. Yet you came to the stars armed, noted the crystalline speaker. That says much about what you expected to find. The truth of that statement stung. Humanity had indeed assumed that the universe might be hostile, preparing accordingly. How could they explain to these beings, who had known millennia of peace, that Earth's history had taught hard lessons about preparedness? The Council will now vote, announced the speaker. The motion before us. Should Earth be placed under containment protocol until such time as they have abandoned all military capacity and warlike tendencies? Maya's blood ran cold. Containment protocol. A small rodent-like being with large eyes approached her. Your system would be isolated by a quantum barrier, preventing all interstellar travel or communication. For your own good and the safety of the galaxy. You can't just quarantine an entire civilization. Maya protested. We have done so 17 times in our history. The being replied calmly. It is the most humane solution for species that represent a potential threat. The voting commenced, representatives indicating their positions through some invisible means. Maya watched helplessly as a display tracked the results. The bar indicating support for containment grew steadily longer. Wait, Maya called out. Before you vote, I request the right to demonstrate why humanity's perspective might have value to the Confederation. The speaker paused, its crystalline structure refracting light in complex patterns. Explain. You view our military thinking as primitive and dangerous, Maya said, but tactical analysis, strategic planning, and defensive preparedness are skills that have applications beyond warfare. If the Confederation has truly known peace for 6,000 years, perhaps you've lost something valuable in the process. What could we possibly have lost by abandoning organized violence? Asked a representative with tentacles that swayed in apparent agitation. Maya chose her next words carefully. The ability to think like an adversary, to prepare for the unexpected, to defend against the truly hostile. A strange silence fell over the chamber. Are you suggesting, the speaker finally said, that the Confederation is vulnerable? I'm suggesting that 6,000 years is a long time to go unchallenged, Maya replied. Perfect peace might lead to perfect complacency. Another representative floated forward, this one resembling a cloud of purple gas contained within a translucent membrane. The human raises a point we have discussed in closed sessions. The outer regions have reported anomalous activities that do not conform to known species patterns. Maya seized the opening. Let humanity prove its value. Give us a chance to demonstrate how our unique perspective might benefit the Confederation. If we fail, you can implement your containment protocol. The council speaker's crystalline form pulsed with light. What do you propose, human? A test, Maya said simply. Create a scenario, hypothetical or based on these anomalous activities. And let me show you how humans approach problems that peaceful civilizations might find challenging. The council chamber erupted in discussion, representatives conferring in a cacophony of sounds. Finally, the speaker raised an appendage for silence. The vote is suspended. Captain Chen will be given opportunity to demonstrate human problem-solving under controlled conditions. The results will inform our final decision. As the session adjourned, Maya exhaled slowly. She bought time, but now the fate of Earth rested on her ability to prove that humanity's warrior instincts had value in a galaxy that had forgotten what conflict truly meant. The small rodent-like being approached her as the chamber emptied. Interesting strategy, Captain Chen. I am Diplomat Xinzi of the Coordination Office. I will oversee your demonstration. What exactly will this test involve? Maya asked. Xinzi's large eyes blinked slowly. The Council has been monitoring unusual activity in the Perseus Arm. Something is destroying automated monitoring stations, something that does not respond to diplomatic signals. You have enemies, Maya stated, not bothering to hide her surprise. We have anomalies, Xinzi corrected. The Confederation does not recognize the concept of enemies. That, Maya said quietly, might be precisely the problem. The unexpected solution. The simulation chamber aboard the Confederation's diplomatic vessel gleamed with technology far beyond human understanding. Maya stood before a three-dimensional display showing a vast starfield with pulsing red markers scattered throughout. These represent destroyed monitoring stations, explained Xinzi, the rodent-like diplomat. 27 have gone silent in the past standard year. Maya studied the pattern, her military training automatically seeking order in the apparent chaos. They're not random. There's a search pattern here, moving inward from the galactic rim. 3 other council representatives observed silently: the crystalline speaker, the purple gaseous entity, and a massive arthropod-like being that had introduced itself as the security coordinator, though Maya wondered what security meant to a civilization that had abandoned warfare. What makes you say that? Asked the security coordinator, mandibles clicking. The progression is methodical. Whatever's doing this is looking for something, eliminating observation points as it goes. Maya pointed to several locations. If I were conducting this operation, my next targets would be here, here, and here. The representatives exchanged glances. The gaseous entity swirled in apparent agitation. Those are precisely the stations that have gone silent in the past 14 cycles. Maya wasn't surprised. The pattern had been obvious to her trained eye. You're dealing with an intelligence that thinks strategically. Have you attempted contact? Standard diplomatic protocols were initiated at each incursion, Xinzi replied. No response was received. And your response to these destructions? The crystalline speaker pulsed. We increased monitoring from a safe distance and continued diplomatic broadcasts. Maya suppressed a sigh. No defensive measures. No attempt to capture or engage the intruders. The Confederation does not maintain combat vessels, the security coordinator stated. After 6 millennia of peace, such resources would be wasteful. So you've been watching while something methodically destroys your property and threatens your territory. Maya shook her head. On Earth, we'd call that an invasion. An outdated concept, Xinzi said. The Confederation encompasses all known intelligent species. There is no one to invade us. Apparently there is, Maya countered, pointing at the red markers. You just don't know who they are yet. The display shifted, showing a blurry image of an angular vessel with no identifiable markings. This was captured by a monitoring station before its destruction, the gaseous entity explained. Analysis confirms it matches no known design in Confederation records. Maya studied the image. Minimal external features. No visible propulsion system. Likely stealthy by design. She looked up at the representatives. You're being scouted by someone who doesn't want to be identified. On Earth, that would be considered a prelude to military action. The chamber fell silent as the representatives absorbed her words. Finally, the crystalline speaker pulsed with light. What would humans do in this situation, Captain Chen? Maya considered her answer carefully. Earth's future might depend on striking the right balance between demonstrating human tactical value and not horrifying these peaceful beings. First, we'd establish a defensive perimeter to protect critical assets. Then we'd deploy reconnaissance to gather intelligence on the unknown vessels. Simultaneously, we'd continue attempting communication, but from a position of strength rather than vulnerability. And if these measures failed, asked the security coordinator, we'd capture one of their vessels to learn their capabilities and intentions. The representatives seemed disturbed by this direct approach. The gaseous entity swirled more rapidly. The Confederation has not engaged in capture operations since before the Great Peace, Zinzi stated. We lack the expertise. But I don't, Maya replied simply. The crystalline speaker pulsed rapidly. You propose to personally intervene in this situation. I propose to demonstrate the value of human tactical thinking in a practical scenario. You wanted a test. This is it. After hours of debate, the council representatives reluctantly agreed. Maya was granted temporary authority to coordinate a response to the unknown vessels using Confederation resources. What she wasn't prepared for was how limited those resources would be. You have no weapons at all? She asked incredulously, as she reviewed the capabilities of the scout vessel assigned to her. Offensive technology is prohibited under the ban, Zinzi explained. The vessel has exceptional sensors, impenetrable shields, and sophisticated communication arrays. Maya rubbed her temples, but nothing to actually stop an aggressor. Correct. The Confederation believes that understanding prevents conflict. Hard to understand someone who won't talk to you, Maya muttered. She would have to get creative. 2 weeks later, Maya's modified scout vessel lay dormant in space. All systems except passive sensors shut down to avoid detection. She had positioned it near a monitoring station that, according to her analysis, would be the next target. Her crew consisted of Zinzi and 2 technical specialists who watched her with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. None had ever participated in anything resembling a military operation. Anything on sensors? Maya asked. One of the specialists, a being with flexible appendages and compound eyes, gestured at a display. Unusual energy signature detected at bearing 217. Matches previous readings from destroyed stations. They're right on schedule, Maya said with grim satisfaction. Initiate the gravimetric net. Using the scout vessel's advanced but non-weaponized technology, Maya had created an improvised trap. A field of targeted gravitational distortion that would disrupt the propulsion systems of any ship passing through it. It wasn't a weapon by Confederation standards, but it would serve the same purpose. The unknown vessel is changing course, reported the specialist. It's detected something. Good. Deploy the probes. 3 small autonomous drones launched from the scout vessel, each emitting energy signatures identical to Confederation monitoring stations. Maya had reprogrammed them to act as decoys. Captain Chen, Zinzi said nervously, the unknown vessel is approaching the probes. It appears to be initiating the same sequence observed before destroyer stations. Maya nodded. When it commits to attacking the first probe, activate the gravimetric field. The plan worked perfectly. As the unknown vessel focused its attention on the decoy, Maya's trap was sprung. The gravimetric distortion enveloped the ship, causing its propulsion system to fluctuate wildly. Bring us alongside and extend the docking tube, Maya ordered. Quickly, before they compensate. The specialists looked at her in shock. You intend to board the vessel? Zinzi asked. That was always the plan. We need to know who they are and what they want. But that's dangerous. Maya gave the diplomat a level look. Yes, sometimes understanding requires risk. Using the scout vessel's advanced shields as protection, Maya maneuvered alongside the disabled intruder. With reluctant assistance from her Confederation crew, she established a connection between the vessels. "I'll go alone," she told them, securing an environment suit. "Monitor communications. If I don't report back in 30 minutes, disengage and return to Confederation space." Before they could object further, Maya entered the docking tube and made her way to the foreign vessel's airlock. Using techniques that would have horrified her peaceful companions, she bypassed the security systems and gained entry. The interior was dimly lit and utilitarian, with no decorative elements. Maya moved cautiously through narrow corridors, her suit's sensors mapping the layout. The atmosphere was breathable, but had high concentrations of methane, unsuitable for most Confederation species. She encountered no resistance until reaching what appeared to be a control center. 3 beings turned toward her, their bodies insectoid in appearance, but with a crystalline quality to their exoskeletons. They made no aggressive moves, merely observing her with compound eyes that glittered in the low light. "My name is Captain Maya Chen," she said, activating her suit's external speakers. "I represent Earth, a world recently contacted by the Galactic Confederation." The beings communicated among themselves through rapid clicks and chirps. Finally, one stepped forward. "We know of no Confederation," it said, its voice translated through Maya's suit. "We are Voidborn. This sector was marked for exploration. Your exploration has destroyed 27 Confederation monitoring stations," Maya replied. "That's an act of aggression where I come from." The Voidborn seemed to confer again. "These devices interfered with our sensors. We eliminated the interference. If they belong to sentience, no communication was received on standard channels." Maya frowned. "The Confederation claims they broadcast diplomatic messages." "On peaceful communication bands only," the Voidborn responded. "We monitor tactical frequencies. Peaceful broadcasts are ignored as potential deception." And there it was, the fundamental disconnect. A peaceful civilization broadcasting on frequencies that a more cautious, perhaps more warlike species would never trust. "I need to understand your intentions in this sector," Maya pressed. "Are you seeking resources, territory, contact?" "We seek habitable worlds beyond the reach of the Scourge," the Voidborn answered. "Our home systems have been compromised. We require new territory." The Scourge, a hostile force from beyond the galactic rim. They consume all in their path. We fled their advance. Maya felt a chill. "And how far behind you are they?" "Perhaps 20 cycles, perhaps less." Refugees then, not conquerors, but refugees with a military mindset who had no concept of how to peacefully approach the Confederation. And behind them, apparently, something worse. When Maya returned to the council chamber 3 days later, she brought with her the Voidborn delegation and troubling news. The Confederation representatives listened in growing horror as she explained the situation. "The Voidborn are refugees from a genuine threat," she concluded, "one that the Confederation, in its 6,000 years of peace, is completely unprepared to face." The crystalline speaker pulsed erratically. "If what you say is true, this scourge represents an unprecedented crisis, one that cannot be resolved through standard diplomatic protocols," Maya added. "The scourge, as described by the Voidborn, doesn't communicate. It only consumes." The council chamber erupted in chaotic discussion. Species that had known nothing but peace for millennia faced the concept of an existential threat for the first time in their collective memory. When order was finally restored, the security coordinator addressed the gathering. "The human Captain Chen has demonstrated remarkable skills in managing this first contact with the Voidborn. Skills the Confederation has allowed to atrophy." Zinzi stepped forward. "The motion to place Earth under containment protocol must be withdrawn. Instead, I propose a new motion, that humans be granted special status within the Confederation as consultants on defensive strategy and tactical response." Maya could hardly believe what she was hearing. from potential quarantine to privileged advisors in a matter of days. The gaseous entity expanded. Further, I propose we establish a joint task force of humans and Voidborn to develop protocols for the potential arrival of this scourge. Their combined experience with conflict situations may be our only advantage. The vote was unanimous. Humanity would join the Galactic Confederation not as a problem to be contained, but as a valuable ally bringing long-forgotten skills back to a galaxy that had grown too comfortable in its peace. As the session concluded, Maya approached the crystalline speaker. "I'm curious. In 6,000 years of peace, did the Confederation ever consider that they might someday face a threat that couldn't be resolved diplomatically?" The speaker's crystalline form shimmered. "We believe that all intelligent life would eventually evolve beyond conflict as we did. Some threats aren't intelligent in ways you recognize," Maya said gently. "Sometimes peace must be defended with strength. A paradox we have forgotten," the speaker acknowledged. "Perhaps humans have not evolved beyond warfare because the galaxy still needs warriors." Maya smiled slightly. "We prefer to think of ourselves as protectors." "Then protect us you shall," the speaker replied. "The galactic ban on warfare remains in effect, with one amendment, except when guided by human wisdom." As Maya prepared to return to Earth with news of humanity's unique role in galactic society, she reflected on the irony. Humanity's primitive warlike tendencies, the very thing that had almost led to their isolation, had instead made them essential to the galaxy's future. Sometimes, the greatest strength came from experiences others might consider weakness, a very human lesson the Confederation was just beginning to learn.